Get in there! What up, Necromancer? Gungeon audio checks. You're gonna hear me again talking to me. Get in there! What up, Necromancer? All right. It's us. Hello. Got some stuff to set up. This stream was rather not planned, as one of the semifinal teams just got done seconds ago. So I was like, well, shit, I better fire up the stream. So that's where we are right now. Everybody hang in there. Boing. What up, boy? Get more things set up. How is everybody? Doing good, I hope. I have a couple things to say. There we go. That's all set up. Let's get the challenge page up. World Cup semifinals. Only 3 streams left. This one, the next one, and then whenever finals is done. Hey, Trogdor. Okay, all right. Here's the thing. So, not going into details, but I had a rough morning at work. Just things bothering me, people bothering me, persons, places, and things getting on my nerves. So I'm pissed. Come home pissed, grab some lunch, start up a Karl Franz campaign because I've been meaning to play that and get a little further. And I am just right furious. I am out of my mind with anger. And being me, being me, I wanted to kind of role play my campaign, not min-max it. Sorry, Scarbrand's distracted me with silliness. So I wanted to like role play and not min-max it, so I tend to actually like try and help the Empire elector counts, and they're fucking idiots and just lose all the time. So I take like Reichland, right? Take it really quick, and then I try and go help fucking Midland. The Black Pit goblins had taken Weissmund and pushed him back to Carrollburg, so I declare war on them, run up, save his dumbass, take Weissmund back, and give it to Todbringer again. And then I see Festus has Middenheim and Middentag. So I'm like, okay. I talk to Ostlin, get Ostlin to help me fight them. So then I roll up and start kicking Festus's bitch ass, and I give Middenheim and Middentag back to Boris, and then Boris loses Weissman to the goddamn Black Pit or goblins again. I'm like, cool. So Festus turns to fight me. The goblins are taking out Middenheim on their own, and then these Norskins come out of fucking nowhere and start karate chopping everybody to death. So I'm like, cool. Middenheim can't hold on to any fucking land I give them. So Ostlin and I work on getting Hergig and the Brass Keep back from Festus. Festus currently has no more settlements, so he's just wandering around like a little bitch, but now I have to deal with these Norskins and apparently ogres, because you can't do anything. You're so fucking dumb. And then I call up Sterling, and Sterling's like, we cease to exist because the vampires rolled over us for free. And I'm like, great. Talabeckelin's not doing anything about anything ever. And that's cool. And the Bretonnians are dying to either vampires or dwarves, which the dwarves is fine. The vampires a little less fine. I haven't seen Grom rock up and kill everything yet, so my I got home from work and I'm full of rage campaign has turned into, god damn it, why does everybody suck at everything? Which is exactly what I came home mad about. So that's where I'm at. I just felt like sharing. Stupid Norskins. Stupid Black Pit orcs. Stupid everything. Ostlin's doing surprisingly well. They normally kind of cease to exist, so I don't know. I'm trying to keep them in the game here. I don't know what to do about the vampires because I'm mired in the north. I can't get out of here. There's Norskins and orcs and chaos up here that I need to clear out, and then retake the Empire lands from the ogres, but the fucking vampires are strength rank 1 in the world again because they're bastards. Okay, 11, but you get my point. Boo. Alright. Blocker back up so that when I go to the main menu and go to the replay folder, you don't see spoilers. Though I suppose, actually, hold on. We don't need a blocker today. There are no spoilers. Both semifinals are done. And finals hasn't started yet, so I'm not getting any finals replays yet. Yeah, that's right. There is no spoilers. So let's take a look at today's replays. Got Greenskins versus Norska. Warriors of Chaos versus Dark Elves. Norska versus Vampire Coast. Got some Demons of Chaos versus Beastmen. Then Grand Cathay versus Tomb Kings. That'll be fun. That's a campaign battle. And then down here is the other semifinal. But we'll cover that when we get there. So yeah. Some fun games today. I haven't seen any of these. I suppose we should get into the World Cup spiel. Let's focus up. Come on, gang. Come on. Whew. Get ready. Enough talking about work and campaign and the Empire. I'm going to read this and then I'll focus, I just want to read what Zero said. I'm playing Archaon for the first time in years, and it's no less than 6 Dark Fortresses have been taking my freaking vassals the turn before I can get them. Oof. I'm sorry, dude. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the semifinals of the World Cup. We are going to focus, enough shenanigans. We're here in the semifinals. Top is Visegrad versus France/ODM. We'll be casting that first today, and then we'll hop right into a stream about Hop Schweiz, which means Go Switzerland, versus Clan VM. Cool. My usual little spiel is I have not seen any of the replays we're about to play today. I do know which team wins because I have already started organizing the finals, telling the 2 teams that won to, you know, get their orders together and get them to me so they can start playing their games. So I do technically know which teams won. One of the teams finished way earlier in the week, so I honestly forget what their score is. The other one did just get the replays to me about 40 minutes ago, so I do know what their result is. But again, I haven't seen the replays. I don't know who beats who and what that. So my reactions will be genuine. We will be casting all 5 games today, no matter what. Does not matter if we hit 3-0 or 4-1 or whatever score it is at some point. All 5 games are played. All 5 games are going to be cast. At the top, you see 2 faction icons, Wood Elves and Slaanesh. That means Visegrad banned the Wood Elves from being played by either side today, and French banned Slaanesh from being played by either side. So you'll not see those 2 factions in this little matchup. On the left side for Visegrad, we have Kukinko, Zegos, Daceberg, Danikentrop, and Skarbrand. On the right for Fall, we have Tretch, the green one, Inticity, Ash, and Flower. This is Alfredino's team, though Alfredino is deciding not to play in the semifinals because he is, to quote a friend and countryman, a bad person. We have a mix of conquest, domination, and land battles today. See the maps in the middle. Let's get into it. So first up, we're looking for Kukinko versus Tretch. And again, we don't have a blocker up because now there's no spoilers. The only replays I have are from the thing. And this is just Codex sent me some good games that he thinks that I would enjoy casting. So yeah, that's not that. Anyway, what are we doing? Kukinko versus Tretch. Got it. Vampire Coast versus Norska. I think this is really Norscan favored. I would way rather be Norska here. You have incredible frontline clearing. The Vampire Coast frontline is dog shit. You don't rely on large entities much, so their pistols don't have much to shoot at. I don't know. Seems sus. This is a very strange build from Tretch, so I think he knows that. Well, again, it's just my opinion, but I think he would share the opinion that this is Norska favored if you play traditionally, judging by the wild-ass build he brought. Because if you think it's favored, you'd probably just take a standard build, right? All right, we have 5 Sirens, 2 Depth Guard, 5 Pistol Mobs, then Celostra on foot with her Crab and Ghost Knight summons. We have the Lamper's Revenge ROR Crabos. On the other side for Norska, we already see one of the most talked about units of last DLC, the Dreadmaw, causing a bit of a problem, just being a nuisance. On the sides, we have Skin Wolves and Norscan Ice Wolves, very, very common. A Great Shaman Sorcerer of Fire with Burning Head and Flaming Sword of Rune. Frontline of Marauders and Marauders Great Weapons, backed up by Javelin Throwers. Very simple stuff for Norska. Don't often see the Dreadmaw in this matchup, though I definitely get why. It, you know, harasses gun lines, and here are gun lines for you to harass. Oh yeah, the Vampire Ghost also has some sneaky scurvy dogs that snuck past me, but... the Dreadmaw is pretty good. It's almost always good if you micro it correctly, right? It's a great unit, fantastic unit, if you micro it correctly. I do wonder about this matchup though because of two things. One, the undead are unbreakable, so you can't do the thing you usually do where you just inflict horrible amounts of burst damage onto range units and spook them away with your terror. They're not going to really fall for that. And also, they're not doing it now, but I would be concerned with the Dreadmaw. If you just jump up into all those guns, they could just turn and shoot your ass, but yeah, so not something I traditionally think of being good in this matchup, but it seems okay for this one. Because, again, there's no handguns, there's just pistol mobs, so the 5 pistol mobs don't want to turn and shoot it. I get that. I was thinking more of, like, when you're in the build screen and you bring a Dreadmaw, what are you hoping to accomplish is more of what I'm talking about. So Norska is falling back. They're actually trying to back off and set up a bit of a surround while the Dreadmaw continues to poke. This is Conquest, so the Vampire Ghost took the point and are now harassing Norska back, though Norska with their dogs can capture it if they really want to dedicate the time to it. Though, the longer they delay, the worse this will get for their front line. Norska brought a pretty pathetic front line of just Marauders versus Sirens and Depth Guard. That is going to be a quick rout on the side of the Norskins. So their flanks do have to get engaged sooner rather than later. Otherwise, they won't be flanking. They'll just be the front line versus all these Vampire Coast troops. Javelin Throwers still do okay versus Sirens and Depth Guard, but not amazing. They were hoping for much more animated Hulks or, I guess, more Rotting Prometheans, as the Ghost Knight summon is already out, causing some terror, pushing back Marauder Hunter Javelins. And some sort of overcast has occurred. Looks like a nice, juicy Burning Head through 4 Vampire Coast units, doing amazing damage to everything but the Depth Guard, which, of course, the Depth Guard are heavily armored, and my cat is meowing at me. What do you want? Get out of here! All right, anyway, this is why things generally look bad, as the Burning Head actually bounced off the wall and did extra damage, but that's 3 Vampire Coast infantry units deleted in the blink of an eye. I know the Marauders were already working on them, but that Burning Head is brutal, and Norska is well known for bringing that, or Seafang, or both. The Sirens might have a bad time. We do also have Flaming Sword of Ruin, so Norska can imbue anybody with magic damage at any point in time, getting rid of those Sirens' defensive advantage. But we do have a fight in the trees that is going against the Maws of Savagery. With Rotting Promethean summons, multiple Sirens, and the Lamper's Revenge somewhere in here, it does not look like the Maws of Savagery are going to have a very good time. The Ping Pong Burning Head. The Ping Pong Burning Head indeed. So what we're worried about has come to pass, as my cat keeps headbutting the microphone. Please stop doing that. Anyway, what we're worried about has come to pass. The Norscan frontline that got very little investment just fell in the face of the Sirens at the Depth Guard, and now it's just up to the dogs and Skin Wolves to kill all of these infantry without, like, the merit of, oh, I can just cycle charge them from the rear while they're busy fighting Marauders. There's no Marauders anymore. You're just going to be fighting ghosts, my friend. I hope you're ready for a ghost fist fight. You're in one. Marauders rally. They brace for impact with ghosts and die. They die horribly. Yeah, they're already running. I don't blame them. Ed, stop headbutting the microphone. That probably sounds weird. Probably occasionally just a big rumpling sound. That. Looking across the battlefield, Depth Guard and Sirens still seem to be holding okay. They're fighting various Marauders or dogs. Maws of Savagery actually did win this fight in the trees because the Lamper's Revenge wasn't actually here, so the Rotting Promethean summon eventually wore off, leaving the Sirens all alone in a 3v1. And they did eventually lose that. Balance power is about 50-50 as another Burning Head goes through. Takes half HP off the Sirens. Chunks out Depth Guard a little bit. They're, again, mostly fine with it and just running around. So big advantages for the Coast right now. Balance power is 50-50, but I actually really like the Coast position. They still have the capture point. They have a lot more infantry in the late game. Ooh, that's going to be really bad. Anyway, Point is they can regroup on the point and just grind out the dogs and skin wolves, because Norska loves to draw things out and get a bunch of healing for their skin wolves, but if you just sit on the point, they eventually have to fight you. This is really bad. Flaming Sword of Ruin is cast down on the Norscan Ice Wolves and the Maws of Savagery while they're fighting the Sirens, but strangely they also seem to be backing off during the buff, so they're not getting all the damage out they could be. The Sirens don't love that. So Solostra and the Lampish Revenge look like they're heading back towards the point as Norska is headed over to take it. So the coast does have to stop that from happening, because when you get into this situation where all you have left to carry the game is melee infantry and you're on conquest or domination, you need to be holding the point, because every second is like your win condition. You don't usually win the longer the game goes on if the enemy has mobility and healing and you don't. Vampire Coast is going to cede the point. They are just trying to coalesce their forces. In the meantime, it looks like they're going to focus on rear charging these Marauders and saving a half-health Siren over getting to the point quicker, which is fine. I don't think, with how slowly they move, I don't think they could even get to the point to stop the capture anyway, so you might as well save your Sirens. So they're just regrouping. Depth Guard have some healing with their hunger, but they're not going to get too much. Either the Dreadmaw is going to be kiting them, like it is, or they're going to be getting cycle charged, but there's not going to be a lot of sitting there bumping and grinding where they can really get healing. So that more wounded Depth Guard is probably on very limited time. The coast is milling about, and I really don't know why. Again, time favors Norska in this situation, especially now that they have the capture points. You got to get over there. And like the longer we fuck around, the more the Dreadmaw is just going to do bullshit Dreadmaw things. So we do have to keep moving, like get to the point, right? Force it to fight, because the longer this goes, these skin wolves are healing, the Dreadmaw is doing its pop-up bullshit, and it even has a range attack. If they really wanted to be cheeky, they could just back off and range attack, but it really looks like the coast is trying to just huddle up in this random ass spot and fight the Dreadmaw whenever it pops up, but that's just not going to work. Like the Dreadmaw can still go underground while in melee. Move, go. Okay, that was a little risky, teleporting it back over there. Okay, he just wanted a bit of damage on the Depth Guard. He's going back under, but I don't want to be a dick, but what are we doing? You gotta move. This purely benefits Norska. Look at, we have 3 Skid Wolves regenerating while we're fucking around with a Dreadmaw. You gotta go. I'm gonna fast forward as they just stand around, but there we go. Now we're starting to move a little bit. Dreadmaw pops back up, get some damage down, but a huge burning head. Oh no, it was a close game, but I think the coast is hard throwing it in the late game. They're tunneling so hard on the Dreadmaw, and it just doesn't matter. Like, it's getting its poke out, it's doing the damage it needs to do, and then as long as it doesn't rout, because if it routs, it just instantly shatters. As long as it doesn't rout, he can back it up behind his forces and use it as an artillery piece for the rest of the game, because it's balanced. But like, I agree, fuck that unit, but you are playing directly into its hands. You gotta keep moving. You gotta ignore it. It can't move on land. So if it pops up, just walk away from it, and then it's stuck sitting there watching you go. Like, you just gotta move. You're not gonna kill it, bro. Oh, the Skid Wolves are full health now. God damn it. Oh, I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed. This Vampire Coast build was really cool, and it countered the Norskins hard, and then it's just waiting. Why are we waiting? No, there's still healing, bro. You gotta keep going. I mean, at this point, maybe they're, yeah, each of the models is like heal capped, but still, no, those skin wolves are still healing. Also, we're just giving more time for Winds of Magic generation, though. 10 minutes into the game, he's probably used almost all of his Winds of Magic, but it's like, all right, we have more burning heads coming. And the Depth Guard have healing only if they're in melee, so there's that. Like, I guess the Lampish Revenge are technically healing, but I think they've been full health this entire charge. Dreadmaw is back up. Dogs and Skin Wolves charging in. And the Lampish Revenge are rotating over towards the Dreadmaw, again, trying to get some damage out on any cat cam in the upcoming future. Maybe if I bother to plug in my camera. I need to figure out, if I'm gonna ever do camera stuff again, I need to figure out how to not make it tax my computer's resources, because rendering video footage at the same time you're streaming, at the same time you're playing Total War and all this crap, it can just tax your computer's resources a lot. So that's the reason I haven't used a camera in like a year. All right, the coast retook the point. Now, if you look at the top total, if the Vampire Coast had had the point this entire time, the game would be over and they would have won on capture points. The Dreadmaw is back up in the Lampert's Revenge again, and it goes back underground immediately, only to pop up across the entire map and damage more Depth Guard. I hate the Dreadmaw. I hate it. It's such a stupid unit. And it's back underground again! And it's back underground again, ladies and gentlemen. Just because you thought it maybe for 1 second could be punished. Nope, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. It's back underground. You fool. All right, Skinwolves are starting to cycle charge in. Now, this is exactly what we thought would happen. The Coast just have to withstand the cycle charging while holding the point. Because without any mobility or range, they can't force you to stay in the fights. Cyrene's starting to crumble over here. Cyrene's crumbling over there. The second Depth Guard isn't quite crumbling, though their leadership and health are quite low. So it does look like we'll be down to 1 Cyrene, a half health Depth Guard, then Lampert's Revenge and Celostra. And the Norscan Dogs of War back off and reset as the Dreadmaw considers coming back over and doing more poke damage to Depth Guard. Why does it have such high leadership? That's really the thing. It's pretty much unbreakable. How would you balance the Maw? No range attack. It can only get the cooldown for going underground while in melee. And it doesn't start with that cooldown done. So when it pops up, it has to stay in melee for at least like 30 seconds before going back underground. Hey, Poke Patty, how you doing? Norska heavily committing to the fight. Celostra did save a Rotting Promethean Summon for a moment just like this. Is going up on capture points. And in comes a Burning Head, as we suspected. Damages the Cyrenes probably past the point of no return, where they are just now going to crumble into nothingness, given enough time. Depth Guards seem to be in a similar situation. Lampert's Revenge very healthy and doing a lot of damage. Vampire goes back up on the balance of powers. They do have a Scurvy Dog from the backfield. Dodges the Burning Head. Beautiful little dodge there. I have to sneeze. I have to sneeze. Ah! Excuse me. All right. Beautiful sneaky dog to come up behind the Norskins and just be a nuisance, and also good job dodging Burning Head. Now the Coast is back in a dominant position, which makes me happy because they were in one earlier, so I'm glad that mid-game shenanigans didn't cost them everything so far. Let's Coast hold the point. Depth Guard's still decently healthy, decently considering they're an elite infantry unit. They'll be just fine. Lampert's Revenge very healthy and regenerating. Celostra very healthy and fine. And Norska is struggling to retake that point with Scurvy Dogs lurking behind them. We do still have 3 Skinwolves, all with a good amount of HP. The dogs, only 2 of them are really that effective. The other 2 are so low, and they are dog units that they're pretty much toast. Norska has the capture weight needed to retake this point if they commit everything all at the same time. The problem is the damage they'll take during that, of course, which, as we've been noting, is the point. When the Vampire Coast had a significant infantry advantage, they needed to hold the point because cycle charging favors Norska, but you can't cycle charge and capture. You have to stay to capture, and that means the Coast actually gets to fight you. Balance power shifts back in the favor of Norska as the Rotting Promethean Summon faded away, leaving just the RWR, which is taking insane damage, and Norska starts to slowly capture the point. But they only have 60 seconds. 60 seconds to either proc army losses or take that point as the dogs continue to battle with the crabs, the Skinwolves slapping away. Depth Guard are in there, slowly healing up as best they can. Lampert's Revenge also trying to heal up, but so are the Skinwolves. Everybody's healing, and wow, that is a lot of damage to Lampert's Revenge. Capture weight is fading for the Vampire Coast. Army losses is going to take them out, and it is GG. It was a good game. It was a good game indeed. Yeah, well, I don't want to harp on it, because at some point I feel like I'm just being a dick. But yeah, that mid game cost the Coast a lot. They just had to, rush. They had to get back to the point, retake it or stop it from being taken. And their super slow approach, because I get it. I understand that they didn't want to be picked off, so I agree that you have to stop and regroup. The problem is they stayed regrouping for way too long. Like, all right, everybody's together. Should we move up? No. Dreadmaw pops up. Should we move up? Nah, punish the Dreadmaw. Dreadmaw teleports. Should we move up? No, try and punish the Dreadmaw. Dreadmaw goes back underground. All right, should we move up? No, let's reform. Dreadmaw pops up. Well, let's try and punish the Dreadmaw. It's like, you need to go. It's just the fucking Dreadmaw. I know it's annoying. I know it's super obnoxious. Everybody in the world wants it dead, and I get that you want it dead, but like, ignore it. And the Skin Wolves are just getting back to perfect vigor. They're healing up the whole time. Ugh, it's so brutal. I haven't really watched since Conquest was introduced. It was a close, nice game. Yeah, it was a close game. All right. Kukinko versus Tretch, so I can delete that one, and the win goes to Mr. Kinko. Desktop. Select these. Good win by Kukinko. And unfortunately, Tretch gets the red X of doom. 1-0 start for Visegrad. Next up is Segos versus the green one. Kind of crazy that two of the worst people on Earth fight each other. Insane. Oh, Segos! I don't wanna. Also, those guys both changed their name to Human Boy Yes Yes in different languages. I see you. We have Chico Humano CC, Garçon Human Oui Oui. Beastmen, all Centigores versus Demons of Chaos, Air Cheese. Damn, do people really not like Norskin now they got the DLC? There's certain units that were introduced that were a little rough. Yeah. Okay. 4 Segos in the Demons of Chaos. 2 Burning Chariots of Tzeentch, the Angels of Decay, Plague Drone, Deathhead RORs, Varrock the Feather Prince with blue and pink fires, then Shrieking Skyrays, Screamers of Tzeentch with Lamprey's Bite. That is a lot of air kite. On the ground we have blue horrors, exalted pink horrors, this pink, the exalted pink horror and pink horror RORs, the Nurglings. On the other side, 4 Beastmen. It's all Centigores all day. Centigores of Tzeentch, Centigores with throwing axes, including the Grogos of Wolf's Run, and then the Sons of Goro Centigore ROR with Malagor, who has Enfeebling Foe, and Flock of Doom. So, to deal with Air Cheese and Conquest, again, you have to take the point. Take the point. Air units can't conquer the point. So you take it, then you kill all their ground forces, and then you just run away. Because literally these 5 units, even if they land, have 0 capture weights. You just need to take it, sprint at their units, and then literally separate your units as much as possible to every corner of the map and just run around. It's awful. I'm not saying it's a fun time, but that is how you beat Air Cheese and Conquest. Is you just ignore the air units and survive. No, he's backing off the point. You gotta accept the damage. You gotta get that timer ticking. Otherwise, Air Cheese is gonna beat you just with time. Come on, capture it. You gotta capture it. You have to. You have to. Hey, no, you're not gonna out damage the Air Cheese, bro. Okay, I do get what he's doing. He's trying to dodge the burning chariots because they don't have infinite ammunition, obviously. So dodging that is solid. That's fair. But also, take the point. Malagor's also a really good choice for this. His teeny tiny profile makes it hard for Blue Fire of Tzeentch to hit him. So he's more tanky than most lords in the game against this kind of tactic, which can be nice. And you can see Segos is just focusing his Blue Fire on the Centigores instead of Malagor, just knowing it's not worth it to try and Lord Snipe him with that sort of thing. Still haven't taken the point, the Beastmen. Oh yeah, it's a replay. I can just hit that. Burning Chariots, still trying to hit the Skirmish Cavalry. It's Blue Fire and Burning Chariots chasing them around. Plague Drones, Deathheads haven't done very much. Shrieking Skyrays are coming back, which means they probably have Lamprey's Bite up soon as a net comes down onto the Centigores. Malagor is going to run up, get some decent damage down. Beastmen doing very well this early game. Overall, they have captured the point, big ups, and they've withstood most of the damage of the Burning Chariots without actually taking too much damage in response, so that's fine. They're not bum rushing the ground forces of the enemy, which is okay, since those guys aren't really walking up to the point just yet, but it will be important to keep them off of the point when you have all Centaurs. Your capture weight is ass. Sir Catbeard, the net let the Beastman capture. He forced him to capture. Anyway, yeah, 5 horrors isn't exactly difficult to take out if they're on the point, but it is still just generally, you don't want to have to fight the infantry. You kind of want to fight them on your own terms, cycle charging them and whatnot. It looks like the green one is pretty content not to fight the Nurglings and blue horrors. I'm not sure I agree. I would like to see him set up a surround and start like cycle charging them for now, because you can also get the enemy as only flying units leadership debuff, which against demonic factions is very powerful. I get that he doesn't want to just send 1 Centaur in, because then it'll get rear charged by the Angels of Decay or the Shrieking Skyrays. It won't be able to leave and just get murdered. But if you get a full surround, you can only lose 2 Centaurs or so, and you can start whittling down these ground troops and just do a lot of good effective stuff there. All right, I'm going to fast forward again as we just have more Airkite. Malagor takes a little bit of blue fire damage. We get some Arcane Surge from the demons for more air cheese. How goes it? Overall, pretty good. This immediate game, I'm not shy at all to say I do not enjoy air cheese. So this immediate game, not good. You know, Burning Chariots beat Chimeras, even the ROR. I did not know that. See, this is where the problem's coming in of the passive Beastman playstyle is the demons are getting awfully close to just walking in and taking that point, and that's your whole victory condition. So I do want to see them harassing the demons on the way in, and then, like, again, I said at the start, it makes for horrible gameplay, but literally, if you kill these 5 ground units, all you have to do is just run away. You will just automatically win. The air units can't capture shit. They literally can't. So I do wish he'd take out those 5 infantry units. Meanwhile, his forces are just getting picked off. Beastman falling a little bit behind on the balance of power. Now the demons are using ammunition, but it is what it is. Demons are now moving up, getting closer to the point. We are 240 seconds, so that's 4 minutes. We're 4 minutes from a Beastman win, but they're just gonna let the demons take the point. You gotta stop them. You have to. This is your only win condition. You do not win as this game goes on longer. You lose the longer this game goes on. You need to stop them from capturing that point, for the love of God. Okay, some Centaurs engaged for 2 seconds and they're running away. The other Centaurs are starting to move in, but the Nurglings are on the point. They're capturing it now. This engagement needed to happen off the point. It needed to happen way over here, as we're only 110 seconds, so less than 2 minutes from you winning, and they're gonna capture the fucking point. Why are we doing this today? I'm going insane. I am going insane. God damn it, the demons are gonna capture the point. Okay. The first time I sent Karl Franz on Deathclaw to get a Burning Chariot, and the Burning Chariot just beats you. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Balance of power is getting really bad for the Beastmen. The point has been captured by the Demons of Chaos, and I'm afraid their fate is sealed. As the Sons of Goros charge into the Sour Guts, they get a little bit of damage off. And the Burning Chariots are starting to land. Just getting some damage in here and there. We have Centaurs coming back in from the far reaches of space to try and hurt the demons, but that's it. That's GG. I'm just gonna fast forward because they literally can't win. Has Malagor even been casting Flocks of Doom? I don't think so. No. His damage value is way too low. His damage value is way too low. God, like they just played so passive. They had to get aggressive. Like, as you're pointing out in chat, and I didn't even think to look at it during the game, but I looked at the very end. They needed to cast Flocks of Doom the whole time. They needed to be attritioning out the infantry. You had to stop the infantry. You had all the time in the world. We can't let them take the point for free. They're air cheesing you. We have to take. That's it. I'm getting my soapbox. We had to take the point faster. We had to take the point immediately. All that little dancing around in the early game was kind of cute, and you dodged some damage, I guess, but you had to take the point quickly. And then when you take the point, you have to stop the infantry. That's your win condition. That's your whole win condition. Running around in circles trying to dodge air cheese is not the win condition. The win condition is killing any capacity for the enemy to engage in the game. If they're gonna abuse you, you have to abuse them. Don't play their game. If a guy pulls out a gun, don't dance dance around in front of the wall and say, bet you can't hit me, punch him in the fucking face and take the gun. You gotta change the rules, because if you're just gonna get shot at, dodging is not a good option for winning. So... I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Bro, think about your blood pressure. Yeah, I'm actually taking off my socks right now because I'm getting too warm. Ugh. I'm getting too warm. Too much yelling. You know what? That's it. I'm done yelling forever. I'm calm. I am calm boy. The calmest I've ever been. You're good. Citation needed. All right. That's a 2-0 start for Visegrad. I'm getting concerned. I did predict, if you weren't here for the last couple streams, at the very start of the tournament, I said there were 3 teams that I think would win it. Hopschweiz, VM, and France. Feeling pretty good. My 3 out of 3 made it to semifinals. I'm getting a little spooked. I'm getting a little spooked that they're at a 0-2 start versus Visegrad. Oh no, my predictions. I might be falling. Now what do we got? Okay, Daceberg. Okay, that's rough. That's rough. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. No, it does. It does. Sorry, I had it backwards. All right, so my boy Anticity, he can do it. Ash is a good player. I don't know if he's a better domination player than Danny, but Ash is a good player. And then Flower kicks ass. Those Scarbrand's also pretty good. So like, all right, I think here's the France path to victory. This is probably 70-30 Anticity is what I'm going to say. Don't at me. 70-30 Anticity, right? So my boy Anticity, he takes this. Danny Ash, it's probably 70-30 the other way, but 30% Ash, okay. And then Scarbrand Flower, I'm gonna give that 50-50. All right. So what are the odds here? What are the odds? So we have the 70, and then we have 30, and then we have 50. Okay, so that's 7 times 3 is 20. Wait, yeah, 7 times 3 is 21 out of 100. And then 50%. So 5 out of 10. It's not looking good. We have like 10% odds of that happening ish. But I believe in the 10%. I believe in my boy Anticity, and we're gonna go find his game. We're gonna go find his game right now. And I am done. I'm done screaming. I'm done screaming. I am gonna be so fucking calm. All right, more Norska of Anticity. And Anticity brought infantry? Nah, this isn't Anticity. That dude only brings mobility. Superman, first time catching stream live, directly mid-ramp. What up, dude? Hopefully you're enjoying yourself. The odds are 0.037 repeating. Is that 3.7% Dagrath, or is that 0.037? Did you already include the percent or not? All right, here we go. So for Anticity's starting force, he has Sail the Faithless with Shulkin's Teeth, Chain Lightning, and then Night Maw, so decent amount of damage abilities. Then we have a whole bunch of Skirmish Cavalry, some Skinwolves, and some Marauder Berserkers, plus a Dreadmaw. Very classic Anticity, heavily skirmish focused in the early game. And then on the other side for Daceberg, remember, if you want France to make a comeback, you're rooting for Anticity and Norska. If you just want Visegrad to clench it out and go to the finals, then you are rooting for the Greenskins. Orc Boys, Goblins, Savage Orc R Boys, and more Arc Boys. So a really wide infantry start for the Greenskins. And then with their abundance of cheap mobility, they can summon those in later. So they do tend to like to get a nice wide front line going at the start, it seems. We do have a Goblin Great Shaman on his Spider with Vindictive Glare. The Spider gives him tankiness and terror, which helps him not terror out in turn, obviously. But the Vindictive Glare from such a high cast point seems to do a lot more damage. I know Incars takes this Lord a lot and makes him look very good in land battles and conquest, so I think it's a good Lord. Good builds from both. This is classic Anticity. Ooh, also, the Dreadmaw can get punished by this guy. Oh, don't even try it. Holy shit. Don't even try it. That might be OP. It depends, because it increases your cooldowns by 15 seconds. It might stop him from tunneling for 15 seconds, just leaving him sitting here taking free damage from the Goblin Great Shaman. That, if that is true, that's a big play. I love that. That's so awesome. Anyway, Dreadmaw lost half its HP. On the other side, we have Kurgan Horseman dual weapons. These are one of the big players from the DLC that I thought would be more common in the meta, but they just really aren't. I don't see a lot of people using Kurgan Horseman. I think they're good units, but yeah, just not that often used. So Anticity's doing classic Anticity stuff. From all the domination games I've watched of him, he seems to really value early damage and then later pushing over early pushing, which sounds stupid, but it's risky. You need to be a really good player, and he is one, but if you make early mistakes, like you forget where your skirmish cav are, or you take a charge for too long and get whittled down, that'll be really, really bad, because when you do this style of play, you have to get a pretty significant damage lead so that later in the game, when you start summoning an infantry, they can take the point almost uncontested, because you need to be able to take it quickly for how long Anticity usually goes without capturing. Now, he has a triple cap right now, but that's because he had cavalry start the game. In reality, these greenskins are going to push forward, and they're probably going to counter triple cap him, or at least double cap. So it's more of a general thing that this immediate moment, he's got a triple cap, you're a stupid, dumb idiot face. Also, the greenskins are moving up a little slower than I would have thought, so there's a couple things going on. 30% of the time, they win every time. Anyway, greenskins getting picked off. Anticity is not off to a gold damage value lead, which is very concerning for him. Definitely not how he wanted this match to be going early. I'm sure losing half health off the Dreadmaw was not a part of his plan, and I mean, that is about 600 of the value so far. Greenskins are also starting to rout, which means Anticity can catch up on damage value by chasing them and slaughtering them off the map. While when Norskins rout, they usually will get to safety pretty quickly and be fine. A lot of greenskins close to routing over here, but not quite. They did retake point 2. They are capturing point 3 as we speak, and point 1 is contested, though Anticity does have a lot of mobility assets over here. So he has bodies that could capture it, but in reality, he doesn't want to commit them to an extended fight, so he doesn't really want to actually hold this point too much. He's just hoping to rout everybody off like he did here. We see 4 routing flags. Anticity is holding the damage value about where it is, but he does want to play a little bit of catch up, as the greenskins are going to capture point 3 any second now. Norska still harassing the greenskins, making sure they can't rally. Berserker's going to town on the Orc boys. But something about that damage value isn't adding up, because looking around, I definitely think Anticity's doing fine, but the damage value suggests he's in real trouble. Because again, he needs, at this stage of the game, he needs to be getting ahead. He can't be holding steady. The greenskins will win if he just holds steady. Point 3 has officially fallen. There we go. That took forever to capture, even with the Crimson Killas there. That was kind of crazy. So greenskins are catching back up on capture points. As Anticity summons in some more Kurgan Horsemen, a couple Marauder Berserkers here and there. Skirmish Cav have lined up and are all just firing away. Though the greenskins are slowly feeding them garbage. Orc boys and goblins. It's just like, all right, use your precious ammunition on my literal worthless crap. Though when all you brought is worthless crap, I mean, at some point, he'll kill it all. Dreadmaw was back up. Dreadmaw took a bunch more damage from a Vindictive Glare and point-blank shots from Rogun's Armored Orcs, so Anticity's giant monster is almost dead. Daceberg is still up on damage value a decent amount. And cognitive dissonance or not between the damage value and the actual battlefield state, I mean, we are about even. If I just look around the battlefield and I'm like, yeah, this is about 50-50, honestly, that's not good. That's not good. If you're Norska, you don't want 50-50. You want dominance. Still, around point 1 is just the greenskin graveyard. Anything that has come down here has gotten massacred and pushed off the map, but point 2, point 3, both going okay for the greenskins. And we have Crimson Killas just wandering through the desert of the enemy backline, like, hey, come on, somebody, please stop running away. Please. Somebody fight us. I don't know why they're running around the back line. They should probably just be on point 2. Come on! Stop it! You guys are dicks. Too funny. Too funny. So Intensiti's done a really good job of holding point 1. He's even going to sneak capture point 2. Greenskins didn't actually have a ton of bodies on it. The Crimson Killers are here to try and slow down that capture, but there's not many other Greenskin units in the area that can retake it. So Intensity just summoning in more and more and more light cavalry as Vindictive Glares continue to poke at Sail. And this is where the damage value is starting to get really disingenuous up here. And I know Incars is out there in chat somewhere like, I told you it's bugged, you fuck! I know it's bugged, buddy. I still have to use it sometimes, but yeah. Looking around the state of the map, things are how Inticity generally want them to be, right? Look at the amount of red health bars versus the amount of green health bars. There's not nearly as many greens. So now Inticity's getting what he wants. Even though the damage value up there is for some reason just being crazy fraudulent right now, something's wrong with that. Inticity is actually getting what he wants. So now he has such battlefield control and dominance that he can push the greenskins back into their spawn or just murder all their people. And then when he starts spawning stuff to capture points, it can walk up uncontested and just take it real quick. And he even has a triple cap at this point, so he doesn't even need to. But yeah, this is what he wants. The greenskins are in real trouble because now they're just stuck in their spawn, essentially. They're gonna have a really hard time. Early game's getting a little concerning, but it all broke Inticity's way eventually. And yeah, this is now getting to the thing. Oh, that's where all the damage is. The Shaman's fine, but the Shaman's crazy expensive. So while Inticity was murdering off like all the goblins and all the orc boys and stuff, the damage value didn't look that bad because the Goblin Great Shaman was fine. You can see he's catching up on damage value now that the Goblin Great Shaman is taking significant chunks. Yeah, I think the damage he's taking on the Dreadmaw was hurting him, while not killing the Goblin Great Shaman was also hurting him on this fake-ass number that doesn't matter, right? Because the actual battlefield's going great for Inticity. He doesn't give a shit about that the Goblin Great Shaman's still full HP, but I was trying to figure out why these numbers were so disparate from what I was seeing. Dreadmaw gets hit with another Vindictive Glare, down to 500 HP and surrounded by enemies. Does it finally rout? It goes negative for a second. That is the longest -3 I have ever seen. That is the longest -3 I have ever seen. Okay, it's back to 6. I think it was just a bug because I clicked on it before it went underground. I hate the Dreadmaw. Fuck that thing. Piece of shit. Norsca's running the greenskins off the map in every direction. They are trying to summon in some more Savage Orc Boar Boys to get a little bit of battlefield presence back. They have Savage Orc Biggins as well to charge the point, but Inticity has a triple cap. He's up 500. Now he's 600, 700 capture points. Greenskins would have to triple cap back at this point to win. It does not look like they're going to do that. Inticity does seem to have this wrapped up. Is like, up here they just look like ants, but they look like ants swarming in to consume like a peach slice you dropped on the sidewalk. It's kind of terrifying. As Sail's dropping a Thunderbolt, Lightning, Chain Lightning, there it is. Chain Lightning on the Savage Orc Biggins to doom them. The Goblin Great Shaman does get a good poke onto him and then hits him with a Vindictive Glare, so that's a lot of damage. Another Vindictive Glare or two will kill off the Faithless, but I think the greenskins are too far gone. I don't even think Lord Sniping will help them. Sure, Norsca will lose some leadership and some of their units will rout, but I think they've just lost too much battlefield presence for that to really be what decides the game. Why is Hummus no yelling? Because I saw your game, Segos. I saw you bully the green one. Take the man out of the retirement home and just shoot him, why don't you? Segos, I love you, but that game was abysmal. That game was ass. You're just air choosing the beast, man. Ah. It went down the wrong throat tube. It went down the wrong throat tube. I'm choking. I'll live. Did the Dreadmaw get desummoned or did it actually just rout? It looks like it routed. Whew, that burns. Lemonade in your lungs. All my breaths reek of lemon and sugar. The Orc Boar Boys haven't been able to get out of their spawn forever. I feel like the last 5 or 6 greenskin units to get summoned just like just ran into a pit of Norskins. So Norsca's starting to run out of steam. There's not enough time. There's not enough time at all for the greenskins to recapture and win this game. But like Norsca is running out of steam. Their leadership's getting crazy low. Sail has to play so far back so he doesn't get Vindictive Glared. The greenskins are starting to gain back in this game a little bit, and Daceberg held Inticity relatively close on damage value, but it didn't really matter. Inticity just took over too much of the map. That's Alfred's fault. Alfredino. Well, Anticity is making sure that Segos doesn't go laughing all the way to the finals. So thank you, Anticity, for stopping this menace that entered chat. We appreciate full mobility Anticity here. Not really, actually. I have mentioned before, nothing against Anticity as a person, but I would never want to fight him in domination. It looks so miserable when you lose. You're just like, it's a style of play. People have like talked to me before where they're like, actually this and this play are all better than Anticity at domination. I'm like, I'm not talking about skill. I'm talking about the way that you win or lose. Just, he's just running everywhere, and like my Unga Bunga brain would be like, fight me somewhere. I don't even care that I'm gonna lose. Just like, can I have 2 lines slam into each other and do some damage or something? And Disney's like, no, I will deny you every engagement until it's favorable for me. He's got good map control. France is still in it, baby. Let's go. All right, can Ashe beat Danny? And then can Flower beat Skarbrand? Let's see. I think this is the roughest one. I think for the France reverse sweep, Flower Skarbrand is like 50-50. I do think Ashe is a little disfavored versus Danny, so that's risky. But if Ashe can pull it off, France has fucking got this, and I'm back in it. I'm back in it. All right, let's go. Let's find Ashe versus Danny. And Danny picks Grand Cathay because he also is a man of culture and wants this to be a 3-2. All right, Danny, I see you. I see you casually throwing the game. I don't know. I have not seen Grand Cathay do well in domination. I have seen Grand Cathay in domination. It does not usually go well. But Danny's a legend, so who knows? I love this guy. I haven't got to talk to him much, but we faced off in the World Cup. I was his opponent. I don't know. He was just a really friendly, nice guy. I liked him. Will, I don't watch MMA, but I'll trust that what you said is intelligent and great, and I will congratulate you on your Nobel Prize winning analysis of MMA fighting. All right. For the Grand Cathay start, we have a Dragon-Blooded Shugenin Lord of Yang with Dragon's Breath and Jade Shields, Peasant Horsemen, and then a crap ton of peasants. We have Jade Warriors, Peasant Spears, Iron Hail Gunners, Grand Cannons, and so on. We also have an Astromancer summon and an Alchemist summon. The Alchemist has Searing Doom, the Astromancer has nothing. So he's really just trying to up the mastery of the elemental winds, which is interesting. That is interesting. Neat. So, Grand Cathay can summon in Jade Lancers or Peasant Horsemen or Long Riders or Crowmen or whatever for mobility later, but their incredibly slow-moving front line did have to get spawned first. On the other side, for the Tomb Kings, it is also a very wide front line of absolute bullshit because the Tomb Kings don't have very good infantry and they're super slow and yada yada yada, so you want to spawn a lot of them at the start, otherwise they'll trickle into their death. We also have a Bone Giant, a very smart pick, to counterfire the artillery, and you can see Danny immediately gets off the artillery so that if the Bone Giant targets him, he won't take out individual cannon models. We also have Grand Hierophant Kotep with his Skull Storm. And then, yeah, he has both Skull Storms, the Sandstorm Bound ability and Skull Storm spell, which is already getting cast here, but the Grand Cathay dodged it. Some Skirmish Cav, some Light Cav, Ushabti Greatbow Arwar, Bone Giant, and a Scream Skull Catapult. So we have a bit of an artillery duel in the early game as Peasant Horsemen run into Skeleton Horsemen, and Skeletons will beat Peasants. So this map is pretty much a straight line, it looks like, of capture points. So Grand Cathay cannot hold a mid ground very well. They do need to charge forward and get to point 2. Just because it'd be really hard for them to like play the whole game at point 1 and then try and move up at the last second. They're just really bad at that. They have no aggressive infantry. Tigermen, where? I love how Grand Cathay got Tigermen teased like 8 years ago, and then we've heard nothing about it since. And Supposedly the End Times DLC is coming out in the summer, which we're getting dangerously close to summer. We haven't seen this Tigerman DLC, so I don't know. Dude, I don't know what's going on. CA, don't consult with me about these things. So the cannon's up and firing. We actually got a second cannon summon in. They're taking out the Ushabti. I'm getting a little concerned. Cathay did take the center point, which is fine, but they seem to be losing the front line quite badly, and their guns are actually getting compromised. And we also have cavalry superiority of the Tomb Kings moving in on the back line. So battlefield-wise, I'm really concerned about Grand Cathay right now. I feel like they're losing control of the situation aggressively. So some early damage is nice, but Skeleton Horsemen now catch up to some of these guys. A late summon from the Jade Lancers. Late meaning it was more of like a bait, not like he mismicroed. So Jade Lancers pop out, stop the Skeleton Horse Archers, get some good damage on them, and Danny is going to keep his cannon crews alive. And they did dismount from their cannons again, so the cannon models themselves aren't getting knocked out just yet. Nekar Horsemen have joined the Peasant Horsemen. The Jade Lancers can't peel them both at the same time, as the Bone Giant snipes out a lot of Grand Cannon models. So Cathay's backline is in trouble. The front line is turning around. Without the Skeleton Horsemen's support, now the Jade Warriors are starting to hold pretty well against the tides of undead. They've been doing all right, surrounded on both sides. Tomb King's trying to heal up through it and trying to harass the Iron Hail Gunners down, which are both going pretty well for them. And Kotep is chasing around the Astromancer, just because. Might as well take the free damage, I suppose. Screamskull Catapult still trying to move up and get some damage down. Melee Ushabti also summoned out to try and clear Jade Warriors from the point. Those heavily armored infantry of Grand Cathay do need to go. And the Tomb Kings are actually dangerously close to taking point 1 from Cathay, which is probably an accident. They're definitely back here for the cannons and not here to try and backcap, but I guess it is what it is. And Cathay just keeps summoning more and more cavalry, just Jade Lancers as far as the eye can see. Yeah, they need mobile stuff. It's really risky to like try and summon peasants right now. Like they'll just waddle to the front line, but they're so slow. Iron Hail Gunners disrupted by Kotep, who is stopping them from showing up, and that is a weird looking summon portal that's not going away. I honestly thought someone cast Ancestral Warriors very far from the front line. Did not happen to be the case. Peasant Horsemen fighting good against Skeleton Horsemen. Both are equally trashy, and Cathay is just not budging from this second point, and the Tomb King's initial front line is running out. They're about dead. Screamskull Catapults firing into the enemy back line. Chosen of the Gods trying to get damage out, but really not that successful so far. The cannons did a lot of damage to them, and now they just don't have that oomph now that they're down about half their models. They still do decent damage, but not like... I don't know. When the Chosen of the Gods first fire at stuff, it's like taking 3/4 of its HP out in 2 volleys. And you're like, oh my god. That's not the case here anymore. Kotep's dealing with Shugen Lord. Shugen Lord will whoop his little skeleton ass, so he does need to run. And it doesn't seem like he knows that, or now he's just too surrounded for it to matter. Yeah, now he's trying to path out, but he's not able to. The Shugen Lord continues to get really good shots on him. Now his only hope is if the skeletons manage to rout the Jade Lancers to get them out of his way so he can push to safety. Or is he just going to push to safety anyway? He is! He gets out of there! Kotep is safe and sound. Ash is still up a little damage value, though it is pretty negligible. And as I'll remind you, every time they're on screen, undead do have crumbling, and that doesn't count for Grand Cathay. So Grand Cathay is actually probably doing fine. But then on the other side, the Tomb Kings have a lot of passive healing through their army passive. So maybe it's... maybe... Why don't we all just throw maybes around? Maybe, maybe, maybe. Bone Giant's still firing at who knows what. At this point, just Jade Lancers. And we have Necropolis Knights Halberds. The big dogs coming out. Tomb Kings are sick and tired of losing random Skeleton Horsemen to random Jade Lancers. They summon some armored snakes. And both sides looking a little worse for wear. Danny has summoned in some Halberds, but that's a lot of low HP bars for Grand Cathay. On the other side, though, the Tomb Kings are looking sparse. A couple of their units are crumbling. Most of their units that are on the battlefield are actually decently healthy. The problem is how few of them there are. We have 2 healthy Ushabti. We have a full health Necropolis Knight Halberd. We have a full health Bone Giant that's running out of ammo. But there's not a lot of them. And there's a lot of Grand Cathay that are all half HP that you're going to have to finish off. Bone Giant is still sniping out lit Jade Lancers while he can. 2 shots left. Kotep's just trying to stay alive. And at some point, Ash is going to have to save up money and get a good amount of Skeleton Warriors and Nekar Warriors back out here because he needs a bit of a front line. But for now, he is in desperate need of damage. He needs to clean up a lot of these Grand Cathay trash units and just get them off the battlefield and simplify this a little bit as he summons some Nekar warriors up there, skeleton horsemen too. He's got to get someone onto these Iron Hill gunners, because even this damage, very nice bone giant shot, even this damaged Iron Hill gunners are an incredible threat to the large targets like the Necropolis Knights, like the Ushabti. And the Ushabti are currently going hog wild on some peasants, trying to get them to rout off. Peasant long spears will do a lot of damage back to Ushabtis, but if you rout them, then it's kind of a wash, ain't it? Routing people can't poke me, idiot. Ushabti's still firing away. Bone Giant's still firing away. Trying to peel off the Iron Hill gunners, which they successfully do. It's a pretty big win. You can see the Peasant long spears not routing are doing a lot of damage to these melee Ushabti, though. They're already down to half HP. Just trying to get those guys to leave. Kotep still has to be careful around the Shugenin Lord. Ash summons in more mobility, more Ushabti, and more Skeleton Horsemen, which I get why he has to do. He has to clean up these guys and get them off the battlefield. But you can see Danny is just summoning armored halberd infantry and chucking them at point 2. And I think that makes a lot of sense. The Tomb Kings are going to take forever to get infantry support up to the front line. And the longer this ticks on, the less threat there is of the Tomb Kings doing that. Every Skeleton Horseman they summon is not a... you know, Nekar warrior or a Tomb Guard or something with actual capture weight. So Danny is getting to the point where soon he can just throw armored infantry at the point and pray he can hold on long enough. Doesn't even have to value trade after a while. He is currently up on value trade. I'm not saying he's doing poorly there, but the clock is ticking on the Tomb Kings. Ash refunds the Ammolus Bone Giant to try and get something more useful. Does get some Nekar warriors out there. And each side has managed to maintain their own personal capture point. At point 1, at one point was at risk of going to the Tomb Kings. They had some units up there that were doing some flanks, but did not end up panning out in their favor. Necropolis Knights and the Ushabti are doing a great job of cleaning up a lot of the chaff we saw. If you remember back 4 minutes ago, there was a bunch of half health or lower Grand Cathay units. Almost all those are routing now, but what's taken their place is really problematic. We have full health Celestial Dragon Guard, full health Jade Warrior Halberds, another full health Jade Lancer, another full health Jade Warrior Halberd. So the random peasants and crap and Iron Hill gunners have been cleaned up and they've been replaced by super heavily armored halberds. So I wonder what the Tomb Kings are going to do about that, because most of the Tomb Kings forces on the field right now are large units that Ash summoned to chase off all that garbage. But now it's like, okay, well, you need a hard pivot. We need anti-infantry, we need maybe artillery, we need yada yada and yada yada. So it's hard to recycle his whole force and change what's on the battlefield this late in the game. So he's just doing what he can. Nekar Horsemen rear charging some Jade Warrior Halberds as Nekar Warriors fight them in the front line. That leadership is getting low, but it's not quite dead yet. Kotep even's going to throw out a Skull Storm onto the Celestial Dragon Guard. That one is not dodged, though it is hit with a Jade Shield, and that Jade Shield to keep them plenty safe. I don't think Skullstorm has the best armor piercing. No, it does not. Whether that's a Sandstorm or a Skullstorm, Skullstorm is literally 0, so heavily armored Celestial Dragon Warriors with Ward Save will be just fine. Damage value is incredibly even, but the capture weight is in Grand Cathay's favor. They have point 2 and 1, and they seem to have a lock on both of them. Tomb King's trying to threaten point 2, and they might be able to do it with this full health infantry unit arriving, and there is the late summon. Again, not a criticism, just saying we are late in the game, but we knew this was coming. I was just wondering when Ash would pull the trigger. He just summons a bunch of chaff and he's sprinting them towards the point. So that is giving up on doing damage, and that is all about capture weight. So he's got to rely on everything he already has out to deal damage, because none of those units are going to do any fucking damage. They're just bodies. Cathay Harmony has no Harmony buff. He's bad. He might be bad. He's not, but he might be. All right, can Ash capture? 300 tickets left till the end. Necropolis Knights cut off the Peasant Horsemen and Jade Warrior summons. Neither of these are much of a threat to the Necropolis Knights, so they're generally fine taking that trade. Tomb Kings are starting to get the capture rate. You can see the red is creeping up. As we have some melee Ushabti, I don't know where most of their bodies are. The flag is here. The bodies are over here. Okay, so the Ushabti are in combat with the Jade Lancers. And Cathay is starting to lose some momentum. It's starting to get a little concerning. Cathay is pretty bad at wresting momentum back from their opponents. As the Tomb Kings slowly walk up, they'll be able to capture point 2, but we are getting into triple cap territory. They'll need to at some point get up to point 1 and take it. But for now, of course, the objective is point 2. You got to stop the bleeding. Sadly, he needs a triple cap now. I said that. You're just on a delay. You stole that idea from me. Tomb King skeletons have shown up. Their capture weight is here, though Cathay also has multiple infantry units, so while the Tomb Kings are slowly capturing it, slowly is the key word. Ash is actually starting to trade up on damage value with Danny. You can see Cathay is getting pushed back. Yeah, I would, if this was just a fight to the death from this point. Oof, beautiful Dragon Breath attack. A fight to the death from this point, I would probably rather be the Tomb Kings, but it's not. It's all about slowly attritioning out. And Cathay is real good at slowly dying. And they hold. Halberds pushing back those spears. Cathay even has more capture weight on point 2 than the Tomb Kings. That's probably just a death now. Tomb Kings are taking point 1, which is nice, but again, you need a triple cap. Astromancer close to routing. Cathay summons in some Jade Lancers and Nengao Grenadiers to try and keep point 1. They should be able to. Maybe Ash moves these 2 Skirmish Cav on, and maybe 4 Skirmish Cavalry can take it. Maybe, but I mean, look at the damage the Jade Lancers are getting down the Nekar and Skeleton Horsemen. That's pretty brutal. They are actually going to take that point, however. So the Tomb Kings are still in it slightly, but man, point 2 is locked down. Not even a red blip on there, as Cathay is just massacring all of the skeletons that Ash summoned in. Celestial Dragon Guard and the Jade Warrior Halberds are showing their age, but as long as they don't break, as long as they keep capturing that point, then it really doesn't matter if they're damaged or not. Just have a Flying Balloon or Peasant Horseman to provide for the ambulance. You can see Ash now just knows the only way he possibly wins is a triple cap, so he sends like literally everyone in the whole game he has to this point to just blob up and see if he can capture it in the next 22 seconds. Kotep and some random Skeleton Horsemen continue to hold point 1, so really he is in potential of a triple cap, and Cathay is thinking about routing. 10 seconds left, but man, that capture point's just not budging. More Skeleton Horsemen are summoned to run in. Meanwhile, Jade Lancer's running in from the other side. I think Cathay has it as we go 2 and 1 and 0. Danny can drop. Danny can drop indeed. He will secure the win for Visegrad, and we will see them in the finals. We do have 1 game left and then a second stream, so don't go anywhere. But yes, this does confirm that the French forces shall fall. And one of my tournament favorites bites the dust. Rip in peace. Rip in peace. And Cathay got a domination win, which is not something I'm used to seeing. Now, some domination pros are going to pop in and say, actually, Cathay are S tier, and you're just a stupid, dumb idiot. They're amazing. Whatever, bro. I said I haven't seen it. I didn't say it wasn't possible. Just said I hadn't seen it before. Calm down. I went to Paris, and I saw the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower's actually always been there, you idiot. You can just look at pictures online, fucking asshole. That's you. That's what you sound like. Bam, bam. Visegrad. 3-1. But will Skarbrand make it a 3-2 by losing like a chump ass bitch? Probably. Skarbrand sucks. Bruh. No, I like Skarbrand. Skarbrand's funny. Generally, if you haven't figured it out by now, the worse I speak of someone, probably the friendlier I am with them, and I think they're cool people. If I actually don't like someone, I'll usually just not say anything. Like, here. I'm going to announce this game, and you're going to figure out who I like and don't like. Skarbrand the Exile, piece of shit, utter garbage, worthless human being, never want to talk to them again, versus Odium Flower. Probably don't like Flower. That's not true. I was just making an example. It's not specific. It's not about Flower. Stop talking about Flower. All right. What do we got here? For the final game, it is land battle, no capture point nonsense. Everyone on this battlefield must die for the game to end. We have the Warriors of Chaos led by Skarbrand. We have Fleshy Abundance as his only spell for some healing. Double Chimera, including the Blood Tree Chimera, ROR. Then we have Marauders, the Pleasure Guard, Champions of Slaanesh, Regiment of Renown, Hellstriders of Slaanesh, and then Marauder Horsemen, and more Hellstriders. On the other side for the Dark Elves. Actually, I haven't seen much Dark Elves today, despite how popular of a faction they usually are. Triple Scourge Runner, triple Repeater Crossbow Cav, sorry, double Scourge Runner Chariot, one of which is the Ravagers of Rakarth. Then we have Coldwell Knights, Dark Riders, and a paltry front line of a couple Bleak Swords and a Dread Spear with Morathi up in the sky. Soul Stealer, Melkoth's, and her Bound Doombolt. It is a skirmish battle, it seems, as we do have 4 skirmish cav and 2 single entities with breath attacks versus 5 skirmish cav, including the chariots, and Morathi with her spells. So both front lines are pretty neglected. Hummus, you be nice. You're gonna hurt 3-story Rage Demon's feelings. Bring it on. As I finish my beverage, Cold Knight did commit to a fight, and Cold Knights are not enjoying that fight. Pleasure Guard plus the double Chimera plus the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle did insane amounts of damage to the Cold Knights and pushed them away very, very quickly. But it is not all in vain, as Morathi and the lads take half HP off of both Chimeras, which is quite nice. Fleshy Abundance Overcast coming out from the Nurgle caster, but unfortunately, the regular Chimera went out of the circle, so he didn't get the heal, and the ROR is the one that can land and heal itself, so you would have liked to have those switched around if one was not going to be in the circle. But really big problem, Morathi is kind of stuck and not having a good time. Did take a lot of HP damage against the Chimeras, has to get back up in the sky. Morathi did bring Soul Stealer, and the heal is super nice, and the heal is super useful. I'm not saying you shouldn't use it, but a lot of players who bring Morathi don't want to ever use Soul Stealer. They really want to spam out Melkoths and get as many of those out as possible, though Morathi didn't actually bring her Death passive. The Death passive gives you more Winds of Magic, period. So if you cast cheap spells over and over again, you get more Winds of Magic across the game. Usually when you bring Melkoth, you also want to bring that spell because it's super cheap. But not going to happen. Chimera throws a dangerous breath attack down and does as much damage to its own Hellstriders as the Cold Knights. Value-wise, definitely worth it because the Cold Knights are more expensive, but still, fuck those Hellstriders, I guess. Flower does isolate and push off those Hellstriders, pushes off other ones as well. And despite the rough start for the Dark Elves, we do still have 2 Cold Knights that are decently healthy and getting good damage out. Whoo! Wand of Crydon took a quarter HP off the Pleasure Guard. There must have been several models blocked up on each other. Morathi, still low on HP, does need to get a Soul Stealer or 2 for extra healing, and there is the key ability for the Dark Elves. Their precious murderous prowess, making Cold Knights nearly unbreakable since 1935. Cold Knights dive back into the Chimeras to get a bit of damage out as Hellstriders are trying to chase down these other ones. It looks like Flower is just trying to use these Cold Knights while the buff is up, because he knows once it wears off, they're too damaged, they're probably just going to shatter. So he's like, listen, while you're essentially unbreakable, get in there. Fight while you can. The RR Chimera has taken a ton of damage. Considering it already got some healing, you can see its heal cap. It is taken so much damage. Another Fleshy Abundance is down. This one is focused on the regular Chimera. And you can see the RR just lands and casts its heal immediately, so it is going to heal itself back up. Cold Knights chasing the Skirmish Cav. The Skirmish Cav should be faster and get away. Charge bonus is a hell of a drug, but will eventually wear off. And the Cold Knights will be enough 4v1s. That's looking pretty bad. Dark Elves doing fine on the balance of power. Despite all the healing the Warriors of Chaos have brought, they're still holding up on the balance of power, so that's pretty good. Scourge Runners running low on ammunition is a little concerning. Dark Rider Pure Crossbows, however, have no such weakness. Tons of ammunition for days, though a Chimera lands on one. It does a lot of damage. That's pretty bad. Nice Soul Stealer hits 3 important units. The Lord, the Pleasure Guard, and the ROR Chimera. Once again, with all the healing going on, you know you're just going to have to heal cap it eventually. Or you can snipe it out with Morathi, who lands and is nipping at its scaly, scorpion-y bum. She's trying to route it, because then she can chase it off the battlefield. She's significantly faster, so she should be able to keep up. But the RR Chimera turns around and is doing okay. It just needs to hold while its brother comes in to help out. But the Dark Elves also have support. Dark Riders could jump in and help Morathi. They're going to do just that, just provide bodies to keep her safe, while the Scourge Runner Chariots also move in. So this could be a pretty big pick for Flower. Warriors of Chaos are down on balance of power, and I would agree things are looking a little spooky for them, as the Bloodshriek Chimera is about to route. No more healing for you if Morathi walks you off the battlefield. Repeater Crossbows firing in, but the Pleasure Guard and the Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle catch a couple of those Skirmish Cav napping just a teeny tiny bit. They'll get away. They'll be okay. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine. Bloodshriek Bloodshriek Chimera very, very low. And speaking of Skirmish Cav getting caught, Scarbrand Skirmish Cav do get caught in Bleak Swords for a moment, end up running away with Melkoths and Scourge Runner Chariots on their ass. Scourge Runner Chariots pretty much out of ammunition. They're not really affected there. Bloodshriek Chimera's back up in the sky. Morathi's got to get after it, or these Skirmish Cav have to shoot it. You have to shoot it. It can heal itself. Don't let it get away. Flower, don't let it get away. Flower, you finished that thing up. You take it down, buddy. Dread Spears charge into it. Oh, it was on the ground because it was healing. It's not going to go back into the sky. It's not going to go back into the sky, bro. Chase it down. What are we doing? No, the Dread Spears just let it walk through him. Fuck, it's going to come back and heal, bro. The other one got a Fleshy Abundance. It's back to nearly heal capped. The RR Chimera is here. Is it going to pop its healing? Yeah, it wanders off into the darkness. It's going back into the sands where it came from. The Tusken Raiders are going to scoop it up and nurse it back to health. God damn it. As they did with Anakin's mother. I won't have any Tusken Raider slander. They helped her. Bloodtree Chimera still trying to get away. This routing Dark Rider might actually route it just because like having enemies behind you or whatever, but nah, he's gonna charge back into him. So he's trying to get his heal back online. Scourge Runner Chariot's out of ammunition. Other Scourge Runners ran something off the battlefield. They're very low. So for the Warriors of Chaos, we have 2 Skirmish Cav with low ammo. We have 2 Chimeras. One is very damaged, one is slightly damaged, though he is now healing himself. Pleasure Guard, who are unbreakable, still very damaged, and a Chaos Sorcerer Nurgle, who is quite healthy, though definitely running low on Winds of Magic, considering the amount of Fleshy Abundances he's thrown out. I'm guessing he has 1 left in him.
Behold the beast.
Dark Rider's running forward. Repeater Crossbows, how we doing? 1 is healthy, lots of ammo. 1 is very damaged, also lots of ammo. And I don't see the 3rd one, so I'm guessing it got killed by something. Okay, so we still have some skirmishers. The Warriors of Chaos skirmishers taking a lot of damage as Dark Riders charge into him. The Bloodtree Chimera has been caught. People noticed it existed as it's healed itself back to nearly its healing cap. Other Chimeras jumping in. A final heal is out. I'm calling it. That's the last Fleshy Abundance you get. It's on the Pleasure Guard. Very good target. Definitely could use the healing as they blitz right through Bleak Swords and into other Bleak Swords, sending them flying. Decent damage on impact there. Nice Soul Stealer from a Morathi. Oof. Plus the breath attack from that Bloodtree Chimera did as much damage to the Pleasure Guard as it did to the Cold Knights, but beautiful Soul Stealer from Morathi onto all the important targets, except for, I guess, the RR Chimera was technically out of it. Morathi does need to heal up if she's going to stay in this game, but oh no! The Dark Rider Peter Crossbows fly way too close to the sun and end up getting charged, losing 1/3 of their HP in a big blunder. They do need to fall back there. Most of the damage the Dark Elves have right now is all that ammunition locked up in them, and Nurgle, not Nurgle, you just have so many Nurgle units that I keep thinking you're Nurgle. Anyway, the Warriors of Chaos are on the chase. They realize that they need to take out those skirmish cav, and then they can probably win this game. The RR Chimera is fooling around with Morathi, who is trying to bait it into some spears. It doesn't look like it's going to fall for the bait, though. Dark Riders chasing around the skirmish cav of the Warriors of Chaos, trying to knock them out, while the Dark Rider Peter Crossbows try and get enough space to fire. Because they are not 360 shooting, so they need to get significant space before they can turn and get any damage out. Chimera, Nurgle Caster jumping onto the Dark Riders as the Pleasure Guard also sandwich in, so the Dark Riders are in a lot of trouble. But the Repeater Crossbows are getting way too close yet again. They just rock up. They keep trying to point blank shoot at things, and that is not the way to go. And now they're surrounded by Skirmish Cavalry. The balance of power is back to the middle. That might have been bungled. So many Nurgle units. 1. Oh, it's just Fleshy Abundance all over the damn place. You love healing SE. To be fair to the healing SEs, the Bloodtree Chimera did not get chased off the battlefield. To be fair to the healing SEs, the Dark Rider Peter Crossbows kept running into melee with the other ones. Like, to be fair, but yes, healing SEs is pretty brutal. Morathi's still super damaged, but how much Winds of Magic she has could change this. If she has more Soul Stealers to heal herself back up, she is a potent combatant versus Chimeras. Chimeras don't actually have amazing dueling stats, while she is anti-large and armor piercing. She's going to try and take the fight with the Bloodtree Chimera, but without a Soul Stealer, she will certainly lose. Big damage onto both sides, but it hurts the Dark Elves more. As the Dark Rider Peer Crossbows continue to kite out the skirmish cav, the second Chimera has entered the building. He is trying to do a breath attack right now, back onto a big pile of infantry. Really nice damage there for that breath attack. Morathi needs a Soul Stealer if this game is going to be playable, as the Warriors of Chaos have taken the lead on the balance of power, and I definitely agree. We have some other Dark Rider Peer Crossbows coming back into the fight, shooting at the Pleasure Guard briefly before shattering, but decent damage out. And oof, Flower's going to want like about 2 minutes of that gameplay back where he ended up accidentally running his skirmish cav into melee twice, really hurting them, and when he let the Chimera come back. It's brutal. Scourge Runner Chariots try and peel for the repeater crossbows. They're going to take a lot of damage for their efforts. What can the repeater crossbows get done with that time? A decent volley onto that Chimera, but of course it has missile resistance, because why wouldn't it? The melee Dark Riders catch the Marauder Horsemen, get some decent damage out, just trying to rout those guys and simplify the battlefield, but it's not going to work. They do get terror-outed off by the Chimeras.
The beast is mine.
I put blame on some drunk rat who allowed bullshit Chimera to tournament. Is it the bullshit Chimera, or is it that he let the one just literally come back for no reason or walked his skirmish cav into melee? Just saying, which of those had a bigger impact on this game, bro? All right, Scourge Runners get charged by the Pleasure Guard. Pleasure Guard going to take them out while Ravagers of Karth jump back in. We have a big blob. If Morathi is sitting on a Soul Stealer, now is the time to use it. I doubt she is, otherwise she would have used it by now. Don't know what she's waiting for. I also don't fully know what the Dark Rider Peter crossbows are waiting for. They've taken several opportunities to just run instead of turning and firing. Why is YouTube only now telling me the Ratman's back? I don't know, dude. This tournament's had This tournament has a total of 16 streams. We're on stream 13 out of 16. So yeah, there's 12 other streams, bro. If you didn't know I was back, then that's on you. There's 12 other streams recently. No. 100 bull. Okay, Segos. Oh, okay. Yeah. Blame the Chimera for all your problems. Yeah, bro. Yeah. No, that's good. Morathi hasn't thrown out a Soul Stealer in like 85 minutes. So at this point, I don't think she has one. And if she doesn't have one, this game's over. Because obviously, the Soul Stealer would do a lot of damage to their single entities and heal up your important single entity, which would definitely tip the balance of power on its head and lead to a Dark Elf victory, in my opinion. But since it hasn't happened, I have to assume she's going to die when the Chimeras jump on her right now. Repeater Crossbow's trying to get damage out onto flying single entities. That's rather hard because, hey, look, the Bloodtree Chimera is healing again. It's now heal capped, so that doesn't matter, but yeah, it was healing again. Oh, the Dread Spears need to kill the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. This game was actually pretty close as a whiffed breath attack. Not the player's fault. The unit just targeted the furthest model for some reason. Anyway, this game is on a knife's edge, but man, like, if that ROR Chimera had been walked off or killed, then that actually would have changed so much. Morathi tries to take a fight. She just takes 2 hits right to the face. Flies to the ground, terror out, and it's probably going to be army losses. No Soul Stealer for you. Repeater Crossbow continuing to get damage out. Doing its best. But that best ain't good enough, son. It ain't. GG. Visegrad moves on to the finals with a 4-1. Good shit. Good shit, lads. Ooh, the Pleasure Guard with 3,600 damage. That's insane. For Flower, Morathi got 4,300. Very strong stuff from her. And then Repeater Crossbows did okay. Scourge Runner Chariots did great, though. So it was really the Scourge Runner and Morathi show. We have another semifinal coming up right after this, so don't you go anywhere. You keep your butts in those seats. We're just going to the desktop to finish it out. Scarbrand gets the big green check mark of Doom, and on the other side, we get the big red X of Doom. France is knocked out. My predictions are in shambles, and the upstarts in Visegrad make it to the finals. Boo. Boo, says the chat. Boo. Boo. All right. Coming up in just a couple minutes is Hauptschweiz versus VM. We will be casting that in just a moment. I will get the YouTube to redirect you all there, so you shouldn't have to do a thing. You should just have to stay where you are, and it'll automatically work out. I am going to go check on Grace, because I think I heard her come home, but then I heard weird gas sounds, like whoosh, whoosh, and I'm like, did you bring home liquid nitrogen? What the fuck is going on up there? So I'm going to go figure out what's going on up there. Meanwhile, you guys are getting redirected to the other stream. See you in just a couple minutes.